I miss one day?
Oh, you may miss one day, but it ain't today because you look better than me today. All right, let's get it started with two of the biggest names in football. Well, we're a little over a week away from the Super Bowl matchup between Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Mahomes is trying to repeat as Super Bowl champion, and, oh, yeah, he's only 25 years old. On the other side, Brady led his Bucs to the big game in his first season in Tampa. He said yesterday, quote, "As it's played out, I just thought, wow, this has really been a magical year." Thought he was in Tampa, not Orlando. Oh, sounded like he did one. So, Acho, what would be more impressive, a Mahomes two-peat or Brady winning in his Bucs debut?
Fellas, ladies, sell, people, everybody. What I love about this Super Bowl is because it's good on good. You feel me? Like, at every position is good on good, from the teams that's good on good, but at the quarterback level, the quarterbackial level is good on good. So this is a very hard question to answer. More impressive. Two-peat or Tom Brady winning Bucs debut? I'm going to say the two-peat because what does winning a two-peat also imply?
I'm listening.
If you win the two-peat, that also means he would have won 26 out of 27 games. Bingo, impressive. That also means he would have been the youngest quarterback to win 2 Super Bowls. Beyond impressive. Yeah. That also means that Tom Brady's greatest feat thus far is winning back-to-back Super Bowls, 03, 04. That is his greatest feat thus far. Pretty inarguable.
Okay.
That means Patrick Mahomes would have done that by year 4 of his career, like Tom Brady when he became a starter. So you already matching the GOAT's greatest as Patrick Mahomes. So what's more impressive, Marcellus, is the fact of not only would you have won yourself a two-peat, but you would have won the two-peat, gone 26 out of your last 27, would have probably 2 likely Super Bowl MVPs. And think about this, big dog. You win back-to-back. That also implies Mahomes' career over right now after the Super Bowl. Hall of Famer. Tyrann Mathieu, more than likely, would be a Hall of Famer. Watch them 2. Travis Kelce, Hall of Famer. Andy Reid, 2 Super Bowls now, plus one of the winningest coaches, Hall of Famer. Like, all the implications of the two-peat are way stronger than Tom Brady showing up and winning 1. Huge, huge, huge credit to Tom Brady. You making me pick between 2 greats, but I'm saying the two-peat is greater.
No, it's not greater than a guy who is 43 years old, not young, not 25 years young, 43 years old, going to a new situation and winning in his first year. Now, if you want to look at the list of quarterbacks that have won in their first year in NFL history.
I looked at it, Marcellus.
Dang, where the winners at? Where y'all at? Oh, Trent Dilfer, one and done, too, because they cut him right after that year. He wasn't there anymore. Let's not say Trent Dilfer. I'm looking. Nick Foles. Oh, he had to come off the bat.
As long as you said Nick Foles' name.
I'm going to say his name because his game ain't going to speak for his name. Guess what? Only one I see on this list potentially will be Tom Brady. Let me tell you why I'm so impressed. It's not just the fact that Tom Brady went to a new situation, had to learn the playbook by his virtual Zoom on his computer, not the fact that he had to break into Byron Leftwich's neighbor's house and park in Rex to try to get the team together. Not all of that. It's just simple this. It's this simple. Winning in Tampa is harder to win in Tampa than it is in Kansas City. Look, the last 9 years of Tampa Bay football, 8 of those were losing seasons. Tom Brady went to a situation where there was no soil to cultivate. That was a 7-9 team that said that they were a quarterback away. But how many teams say that they're a quarterback away? And then they actually get the GOAT. They actually get the quarterback. And their fortunes changed immediately, at least in perception, including us. We all were starting to talk about Tampa Bay instead of an afterthought who Tampa Bay used to be. But look at this situation, as Tupac once said, the great late Tupac. The rose that grew from the concrete. Do you remember that? Do you know that song, that poem? In fact, when you look at it, without a foundation, wow, a rose grows from that situation. Looking at Tom Brady out there in Tampa, there was no soil. Jameis Winston lit the league up in terms of stats. And what did he get for it? Out of town. What did they get for it? Out of the playoffs. And then Tom Brady lands right there in that same situation and doesn't even know his teammates, doesn't know his coach. He has a worse coach than the coach you're talking about in Andy Reid, a worse situation than the situation you're talking about. I told you I'm going to testify today in my Memphis suit. Than you're talking about in Kansas City, and he still finds himself in the exact same position as Patrick Mahomes.
Marcellus Wiley, I have such great affection for you. I hope y'all can feel it through the camera, how much love we share.
That's my dog.
But when you love somebody, you call them out.
Oh.
When you love somebody, you lovingly correct them. It's time for me to lovingly correct you,
Coming up at the top of the hour. What you about to say?
I have issue with a couple things. Number one, how do you speak selectively of Tom Brady? Meaning, you talk about Tom Brady, he's 43 years old.
Yeah, it's mama and daddy did that, not me.
That doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter?
No, because when we talk about LeBron James, what do you say?
Yeah.
Don't bring up his age. What does age got to do with anything?
I do. For MVPs. Not for this conversation.
So I don't like how you do that. I also don't like, Marcellus, don't tell me it's harder to win in Tampa when all year long I've been telling you grade Baker Mayfield on a curve. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Don't tell me about things being harder and places being harder when I told you, let's grade him on a curve, but you ain't want to. But now in this classroom, now you want a curve on grade.
I will retort later.
Anyway, let me get back to my point.
Yep, you got to do you, dog.
If and when the Chiefs win, think about Andy Reid moves exclusively into fourth place, most playoff wins of all time. Tom Landry, Bill Belichick, Don Shula, and Andy Reid. Andy Reid, just yesterday, big dog, he couldn't sniff his way onto that list. 11-13 in the playoffs, and now look at him. Now look at Andy out here about to be fourth all time, winning us in the playoffs because of Patrick Mahomes, because of 2 consecutive playoff runs.
That ain't all Patrick Mahomes. He was winning in the playoffs even with Alex Smith. He just didn't win a Super Bowl.
But without Patrick
okay,
Mahomes,
don't give me that.
He was
winning.
11-13.
Okay,
is that over 500? No, sir, it is not.
No, it's not.
With Patrick Mahomes, I believe he's what, about 6-1, 5-1. That is well over 500. Again, it's when you and I are deducing this, is why I love doing the show with you, because we think a little bit deeper than most. When you and I are deducing this, it's not just, okay, you won the game, but in winning the game, what happened? What happens? If the Chiefs win the game, there's such a bigger domino effect for everybody around Patrick Mahomes, I think, than there is for Tom Brady. That wake isn't as great. But it's not as great as the Patrick Mahomes way.
Are you kidding me? I mean, one, this is going to change the entire city in terms of their esteem. Think about it.
They live in Tampa. They already lit.
You go to Tampa because it's already over, and you're going to retire and say, all right, my best days are behind me. Tom Brady goes to Tampa and says, my best days are in front of me, and he's 43. Come on, big dog. The only reason I bring it up in this conversation is because it's binary. Impressed. Now, if you give me a LeBron conversation versus a Luka Doncic conversation, then I'm going to start talking LeBron's age. But if not, if you're just talking about the objective standard of winning the championship, it's a little different conversation. I'm looking at this as simple. He's the first quarterback, and this is the first team to have a home game for the Super Bowl.
That's dope.
Is that dope? Is that dope? Especially when you weren't even in the playoffs last year. They weren't. They're not the Chiefs. They're not Super Bowl champions trying to repeat, and the Super Bowl's in Kansas City. No, this is a team that wasn't even in the playoffs. Then you get the old man who people were saying was in decline, and then next thing you know, he's having a home game for the Super Bowl. I'm not done with that. Let's look at the fact that he's going to become the second quarterback in NFL history to win a Super Bowl potentially with 2 different franchises. Like, the list is just shorter. You give me a list of quarterbacks that won back-to-back Super Bowls. I give you 8 names. You give me a list of those who won a Super Bowl in the first year with a team. I only give you 2 names. That's why he's in rare air in terms of this conversation. For me, this is not even an argument. This is an appreciation. Like, yo. Yeah. It's amazing what you're doing, Patrick Mahomes, and we know there's a lot of runway in front of you. But when people told Tom Brady there's no runway in front of him, he switched that airplane to a helicopter. He said, forget all of that takeoff. Straight up, let's go Bucs, and they're at home doing this, something that's never been done before.
That's good. Let's not argue. Let's appreciate.
Let's appreciate.
I'm going to appreciate Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs also for this reason. The NFL has shown us they catch up to you fast.
Yeah, that's
You think you ahead of the game, light years ahead of the game. Before you know it, playoffs come, boom, they caught up to you. You think you're ahead of the game, light years ahead of the game. Before you know it, next season, we caught up to you. Lamar Jackson in the Ravens.
Thought we weren't going to argue. You going to bring up my favorite? My boo? Right here for everybody? Okay, go ahead. Talk your talk.
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, light years ahead. They got caught up, too.
Greg
Roman. When you think about, Greg Roman.
Again.
Got caught up, too.
Greg
when you think about Patrick Mahomes, 26, 27 straight games, they still ain't been caught up to. If you want to say Mahomes got caught up. In the playoffs, and now look at him. Now look at Andy out here about to be fourth all-time winning us in the playoffs because of Patrick Mahomes, because of 2 consecutive playoff runs.
That ain't all Patrick Mahomes. He was winning in the playoffs even with Alex Smith. But he just didn't win a Super Bowl.
Without Patrick
okay,
Mahomes,
don't give me that.
He was
winning.
11-13.
Okay,
is that over 500? No, sir, it is not.
No, it's not.
With Patrick Mahomes, I believe he's what, about 6-1, 5-1. That is well over 500. Again, it's when you and I are deducing this, is why I love doing the show with you, because we think a little bit deeper than most. When